And we
All
are
right.
live.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're at in this crypto world. My name is Cody, and you are tuning into this episode of the L1X Community AMA. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And thanks to all of my crew that we've got up here on stage with me. We've got Kevin, Lionel, and Mike. How are you guys?
Yeah, surviving, working hard.
Surviving. That's all we can do in this market, isn't it? Just survive.
Yeah,
So
s-
that's a good
surviving and
sign
going
that
good. Yeah,
yep. That's a good sign that we're still here, we're still standing, and we're still cooking. So a lot of great what was the word I'm looking for? It's bright and early for me, guys. I apologize. Brain hasn't fully switched on yet. The Red Bull hasn't kicked in yet. But yeah, we've got a lot of good things cooking on our side, a lot of great updates for you as well. So with that, we'll kind of kick it over to Kevin to jumpstart us on this massive community update we've got coming.
Yeah. Just before I share my screen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We've been working hard. Um, I think the last AMA or the webinar was on 18th of December, and it's almost 2 months now. And you'll see when we go through the slides on what we are working on. But all in all, it's the same strategy that we discussed in December, which is focusing on the patents, commercializing it, selling the patents to fill up the release pool. Anyhow, let me share my screen. Let's go through it. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see my screen, please? Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
perfect. Okay. So the first things first, we promised in December that we will be working towards filing the patents that we want to commercialize and we expect to sell. So we have patented three different technologies. Most of them, are close to development in terms of the first version of it. So the first one is L1X Play, which introduces zero gas peer-to-peer gaming infrastructure for the least latency possible when you play a specific game. We'll get into the details around it, in the next slides. The second one is around a neural liquidity orchestrator. So it's an autonomous AI agent that works with liquidity pools and learns based on its decisions that it makes. The third one is a deterministic action interlock, basically that sits on top of the AI agent, making sure that the AI agent does not hallucinate, or even if it hallucinates, it does not go and execute things that it's not supposed to do. So these are the three patents that we have filed for. Our goal over here is to achieve two different things. The first one is commercialization of these patents, and number two is selling or providing these technologies on our platform, or anyone that wants to use these technologies for a royalty. And we've already started discussing with certain players in terms of both the different objectives that we have. Okay, moving on. Just before I get into you know every single patent and what it does, let's just understand what it actually protects us with, or what is the scope of these patents. So the first one, which is L1X Play, I won't get into the technicalities of it. We'll share this PDF or PowerPoint to the community later. So the first one, it protects the technology that allows infinite gamers to play instantly and for free, using the blockchain to settle the final score. Basically, if there are thousands of players on the network playing a game of chess, for example, or football, they can use their own devices with each other to validate their game moves and only use the blockchain when the game is over. So currently, you will see that all the games that are trying to build on Web3, they have to connect their wallet and confirm transactions anytime any state changing activity takes place. So this allows you to start the game, go and finish the game, and only then update the blockchain. The second one, a lot of, we'll go into the detail in the second one. In this AMA, we'll focus more on the second one, but pretty quickly, the neural liquidity orchestrator, the patent allows us to protect us from the fact that if there is an AI agent that is learning the market knowledge, or is getting knowledge from the market, and if it's predicting a certain crash or a certain spike, and it allows the AI agent to withdraw liquidity, that specific patent on a generic perspective is being protected in terms of our filing. And where the third one is more generic in terms of what it protects, but because there are very few patents even out there that even come close to something like this, which is it protects the safety switch that physically prevents an AI agent from ever signing a dangerous, unauthorized, or accidental transaction. Now, of course, when companies come up with their own AI agents, you've got Claudebot, you've got so many of them that try to do certain wrong things. Over here, regardless of the AI agent that you are using, mathematically, if you go and try to stop the AI agent from a certain risk or executing a certain type of an activity, those activity in the DeFi space is what this patent protects us from. We'll get into the detail of it pretty soon. Okay, so the first one, the zero gas P2P state channel, right? I think one of the most important thing with this patent was solving the unit economics of gaming, where the gameplays are reasonable, the gameplays become practical to play. This opens the door, to millions of users all across the world, where, of course, more users is more protocol activity for us, more liquidity, more transactions, the healthier release pool. Current problem is that blockchain gaming is too slow, right? 1 second, 2 second latency is not, welcome in terms of when you play high frequency games. So what we did was we built a serverless peer-to-peer execution layer where if you take a bar tab analogy over here, you go to a bar, not that I'm saying that you should go to a bar to drink, but let's say you do. Every time you take a sip, and if the bartender tells you to tap your card, it's going to piss you off. You're going to be out of there in no time. So over here, that's how the current games are built. Every time you do a certain activity, if the game logic is on the blockchain, you have to validate that transaction each and every time. With us, the patent that we have filed for, you play the game or you drink your whatever you drink, and you pay only once you're done. So that allows us to introduce some great unit economics into the gaming infrastructure, where you can introduce microtransactions in gaming. It could be casino style games, it could be betting games, it could be football, any of those games that need constant update on the chain. So the logic runs locally on the devices using a deterministic WASM container. We already have this technology, so we've reused it over here. And regardless if you're on the phone, if you're on the laptop, you'll get similar performance in peer-to-peer transactions. We have actually demonstrated less than 50 millisecond latency by customizing the networking protocol. And the good thing about it is, let's say you're going to play the game, you connect your wallet once, as people have already seen on L1X Play. You connect your wallet once, you keep playing the game, and only when you're finished, you can withdraw the money and take it out if you wanted to. So we only try to, the only lag that currently is available or is there is on the entry and exit where you need to connect your wallet. Apart from that, it's like playing Web2 games. So this reduces the server cost because a lot of the heavy lifting is done on the devices. It also introduces fast gaming. All those games that were disregarded because of the speed of the chain. And again, at the same time, the ability to port your game. If you've already built a game and if you want to port it, it takes less than a week if you actually write the code for it. But we are working towards an AI-based porting container that will actually read the code of your game and create some AI code that will allow you to move your game into this infrastructure, and it's chain agnostic. So it can actually execute transactions on any chain. And the reason for this is our previous way of our growth strategy was the fact that, okay, let's bring in projects to build on L1X. Let's get into that race with other L1s. I think that's where things can get slow. The last year we saw that. So this year, actually, we want to work with other layer ones to provide this patent to them to bring players on there. But the final settlement in terms of the validation or transaction will happen on L1X. So that's like, saying if Avalanche or if Optimism, Arbitrum, anyone adopts this patent and developers use this to build games, it will definitely go and use their chain for settlement, but making sure that all this settlement is also a transaction on L1X. That is what we envisioned in 2024 as well. Okay. Yeah, I think Mike, you wanted to
And
say
that's what
something?
we want. I think mate, one of the key things coming out of it is that we're starting to see the abilities of L1X. So that speed. You start looking at some of the other chains, and I did a little bit of analysis a while back with you, Kevin, and it was around the speeds, the likes of Immutable and Polygon and the others in the gaming space, and they're anywhere from probably 10 times slower. I think 2 seconds and more than what L1X is. I think the
Yeah.
closest was about I don't know 20. Anyway, I can't remember, but there was at least 2 seconds on one of them and another 5 on another chain. Those sort of speeds are unacceptable in gaming. That's
100%.
that's what we're bringing to the table, is that ability to pass those transactions fast, which means that Web3 can be incorporated into Web2 type gaming, or that Web2 gaming ported across, and utilizing that your patent. That will be amazing.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that.
100%. I think we've had a lot of conversations on this,
Yeah.
in terms of why we need state channel sharding when it comes to this. And again, at the same time, I mean, this is one application that you could use it for gaming, but you could even use it for DeFi, um, you know, for transaction validation or dark pools if you don't want your transaction to be visible on the ledger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to add as well is,
Yeah.
last year we had over 30 gaming studios shut down, which is massive, right? And so there's a lot of games that are just absolutely failing, and there's a lot of combination to it between their token having an absolute flop when it rolls out to TGE. It could be by the time they had picked their chain that they wanted to go on because of incentives or whatever it might be. By the time these games get rolled out a year or two later, that chain could be absolutely dead. And so there's a lot of variables that go into why some of these studios and why some of these games have flopped. But in reality, if you look at it as well as to what Kevin was just talking about, it gives them a new lifeline to basically be able to revive their game and to reach different
Yeah.
audiences now as well. Just because the cost involved of making this compatible with this chain versus that chain, as we've already known, it is non-existent with L1X. They can go and they can participate on any of those chains. So that's another thing to kind of point out is that this is definitely a huge lifeline for those people.
Yeah. 100%. And I think you're right there, Cody. And we'll see with L1X as well, with the performance that we've had, where in around 80 days, we've done more than 250,000, right? That's 250,000 gaming sessions. And of course, the prime games over there that actually brought in these kind of transactions were Crash and Plinko. With 100% uptime, when the games were actually being played, the network didn't crash. We have upgraded the nodes, of course, but the network did not crash. So this kind of goes to demonstrate that this technology that is actually working to deliver these kind of numbers. And we've got some good comments as well from players, even Cajun guys, who try to go and play the game. They love the games over there, because it's pretty hard to find quick play games that actually leverage blockchain. Even to feel something like that in the gaming world. We've had over $100,000 wagered across those 250,000 games. I think that's like what, 25 cents averaged out a game. And this goes to show that if you had a gas fee that you had to pay, that would even go at 4 or 5 cents, taking over 20% of your waging amount. That's unplayable. So the only way you could lower your waging amount for microtransaction based gaming is by having some technology like this, right? And yeah, of course, these were the numbers for the first 80 days since L1X Play launch. But as we have already partnered up with Cajun Warp Chain, we are looking at scaling this, in this and the next quarter. Okay, let's get on to the neural liquidity orchestra, or the orchestrator. So, all in all, in very simple terms, this is not an AI knockoff of some ChatGPT skin that we used an API, fed in some pool data, and trying to build out, an AI agent that predicts or does something on your behalf on the DeFi world. The moment you hear that there is an AI trading bot that actually makes you money, run as fast as you can away from it, because it takes a little bit more than that to actually build a bot that actually understands what it does. So the biggest problem today, and we'll see some screenshots as well of this product, but the biggest problem today is the passive liquidity providers lose a lot of money in the loss versus rebalancing arbitrage game, because the DeFi or the DEX pools are used as secondary markets. And they are used when, for example, the price of Ethereum has gone up, right? The guys will buy it from the DEX and sell it on the CEX. And in that case, when you go in and deploy some liquidity into these kind of pools, where there is high volatility on a daily basis, and majority of the pools are volatile, right? That is where there is huge impermanent loss. So you go and stake $100 into a liquidity pool and keep it as it is. You go in after a month into a volatile pool, you might go and end up only with $80, right? And maybe the fee is $10. So net earnings have been in minus. So we have tried to find a solution for this, and we have found a solution for this. So the way it works is we built an AI model that learns by making decisions. It's correct or it's not correct, but it's a decentralized AI agent network that shares knowledge and learns and does the liquidity management automatically on your behalf. So if you were a passive liquidity pool investor, here the AI agent will do it on your behalf, which is a non-custodial agent. You own the agent, it sits on your account, and you have the right to stop it or drive the strategy that the AI agent should actually go for. Of course, this patent and this license, we are already speaking to a couple of people who are interested in this. They're looking at the demonstration. They're interested in getting this. The best way to offer something like this would be through Quantum Dex, or it could be, to a wallet provider that already has millions of users as a feature inside the product straight away. Right? You move the money into the AI agent, and the agent starts trading on your behalf. Let's just look at a little bit in terms of the technology on how it works. We'll also go to the commercialization side of it, but let's just understand that, why this is not a knockoff, why this can't be built by just, because I look at a various exposed and, they say, okay, I built a trading bot with OpenCloud and it's making me 10 grand a month. I mean, if that was true, Claude AI and ChatGPT would never raise money. They would just do this. But anyhow, so the way it works is, we've got live data feed where the agent listens to pools on multiple different networks. So it's integrated with multiple different networks. It's connected with more than 10 different protocols, more than hundreds of pool on each protocol. So it's got data around thousands of pool. That was the first problem that we had to solve, because you can't take so much of data and give it in the raw format. We had to create metadata out of the actual data so that the AI agent doesn't get overloaded. we've got something called as the TFT module, which is a temporal fusion transformer. It's the ICE. Now think of the TFT, as a car, for example. TFT is your sensor and your cameras. It kind of understands, okay, there's a truck standing in front of you, slow down, right? The actual brain, which has never been done before in the DeFi space or in the Web3 space at all, is integrating TFT and with something called as a reinforcement learning agent, which is PPO, or proximal policy optimization. Now, what that means is, if you understand that there is a truck standing in front of you, that's forecasting. That's looking at the data in front of you, or looking at the data tomorrow, that this is my forecast, this is what's going to happen. But the ability, how much you should brake. Should you brake fast? You should brake slow? Should you swerve away from it? Is there a car coming at the side? That is the brain. That is what the reinforcement learning agent does. So it kind of understands, okay, the last 10 accidents, they tried to brake real hard. Let me not do that, right? Let me try to swerve away. I think I have a better chance at survival over there. So these agents will learn from each other. So if there are 1,000 users using agents out there are 1,000 agents in action. If there are certain agents making mistake on a liquidity pool, saying that, okay, I went and invested into this single liquidity pool. I thought the price was going to go up, right? It actually did not even reach into the bounds that I was thinking about. It will go and learn and update its model on its own. And that, is the actual difference between what a standard trading bot does, that is what you listen to on Twitter or YouTube or anywhere, versus what a reinforcement learning agent would do. A standard trading bot only makes decision based on the rules that you give it. If liquidity is greater than 1,000, if volatility is less than X percentage, then you go and invest. But if it loses money, it doesn't understand that these metrics that you had given me are no good. I need to create some other metrics that would actually work. So it could even follow wallets, track down what metrics worked for those wallets, and recreate it or learn on that specific behalf. But the biggest challenge is in how do you build a reinforcement learning agent in Web3. That's one of the hardest challenges to do, which has never been done before. Now, the way I kind of look at it is, when you've got multiple different pools that the AI is analyzing in life, the AI doesn't look to sit into a single pool for more than, let's say, a single hour or 2 hours. If it's analyzing 1,000 pools or 10,000 pools, it goes in there with the objective that the moment I reach 0.05% profit, I get out of that pool and I look for something else. But it might do this every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes. So rather than keeping yourself locked into that pool for a longer term, the AI agent doesn't want to live there for a longer period. Now, as I mentioned previously, whatever the learning is, the AI agent understands that. It goes and updates its neural network, its learning model, and reinvests on your behalf. So you could start off with a $50 or $100 into your non-custodial wallet. You just move it into your wallet, start it off, let it live. And I'll show you through certain screenshots how easy we are trying to make this. Now, one of the advantages of why we are doing this is, of course, things are moving towards AI. And at the same time, this AI agent is going to use two things that are very important for us. The first one is the swap. So if I am on Binance and the next pool is on Solana, I have to use the L1X swap to move from one place to the other. And it will automatically calculate if the gas fee is appropriate to pay or not. Am I even netting out profit if I pay for the gas fee, etc.? That is what it's going to use. And the second most important part over here also is a certain commission that is made from the profit of this AI agent flows back into the release pool. Of course, it is going to be a transaction on L1X as well, making sure that the AI agents share a certain checkpoint with each other, that this is the learning they have made. But apart from the swap technology, that is what the AI agents are going to use, that is L1X swap, it is also going to charge a commission on the profits that is being made, plus a monthly fee to use this specific technology that flows back into the release pool. This is until we find a buyer to sell this specific technology, right? And we are already speaking to a few people who have shown some good interest in this specific tech. But again, it all comes down to this working exactly how it should be working, and that's time and data that the AI agent needs. This is a single screenshot. So I was running this, I was running this on my computer, and I started off slow. This is a screenshot from a long time ago, but anyhow, so take of this as the total net worth that I had in. So this was WBNB and USDT pool. So this was the net worth I had in my wallet. That was in USDT and WBNB. Now, one of the criteria I gave the agent is you are not to spend more than 2% of my wallet at any point in time. You keep 98%. And only if you make money, you increase your percentage to 5, right? So these are the rules that the AI agent can set. It's not like you put in $100 and $100 is gone, right? You give it a specific percentage. Only if you make money, you increase your appetite of building trust. So you start building trust with the AI agent straight away. We can see over here that what it does is it goes into a single pool. It mints, it burns, it mints, and you can see the timeline here, right? So it kind of waits for it. It gets an AI signal. Basically, should I mint? Should I burn? Should I mint or should I burn? And in that process, what it is actually trying to do is it is trying to save you from impermanent loss problems. Where if you deposited $100 worth of BNB and USDT split into half each other, your BNB would be worth more if you removed it out of that pool. It is saving you from that impermanent loss. Now, you flip this on the other end, it will actually try to also find pools where the APR is extremely high, but it's only high for this one single slot of the day or one single composition of the token price, or you've got the CLMM, right, model, where concentrated liquidity model, where okay, only for this it is high. So it'll understand that and invest in there and get out of it before people come in and try to snatch it out, right? So we did this. I ran it for, you can see over here, this was the first transaction I made at 350 and it was 420, right? So it had around 40 minutes of it and it gave in 0.05% in profit. So, well, I only put in, if you see over here, the portfolio value was only 1.76, 1.76 and then 1.90 because it saved me from impermanent loss. And of course, if it makes money, it will withdraw it as well. These are small scale testing. It does work on small scale. There's over tens of thousands of line. The AI agent is built from scratch. It's not, as I mentioned previously, it's not a ChatGPT knockoff. The whole brain is built from scratch. Every neural network, every mathematics is built from scratch on this, right? But for the user, it's going to be two-step process. Or if you're new to the wallet environment or to the web environment in Web3, three-step process. You will create an account, of course. You choose your strategy here, and of course, you'll be able to run multiple agents. You choose your strategy. You can go for Alpha Seeker, Balance Yield, Capital Safe. Alpha Seeker it's going in very fast. It's trying to understand and do it fast. It doesn't care too much about gas fee. As long as you give it minimum, a certain amount, good for a higher value amount, it is very active. You want to save up on gas fee. You want to be a little, okay, as long as you make me some money at the end of the day, I'm happy with it kind of approach. Balance yield. You deposit certain money into your agent where you have control over that deposit at every point in time. So it'll be on your wallet. You put in $1,000, for example, you move that $1,000 into your AI agent. It's got $1,000. Again, you're not to spend more than 2%. You're not to spend more than 5%. There'll be a configure button over here. And then you just deploy. You just press this button and wait. Um, that's how simple we are trying to make it for the end user. And this is going to be on a decentralized contract, every agent learning from each other. And why are we doing all this? I mean, we didn't patent it to hang it on the wall. The reason we patented this is because we do believe that liquidity pool and passive um, management of it is a big problem today, where people are constantly analyzing. It is next to impossible, even today, using the existing technologies to analyze 1,000 pools and manually make a decision where you want to go, let alone let the AI handle the whole thing for you. So it's not a magic wand. We're not magicians creating, pulling a rabbit away from the hat, but it's using sophisticated learning method to predict, am I going to face an impermanent loss problem? And if yes, I want to get out of this pool and I want to go to some other pool that's going to make me money. That's what it's going to do, right? That is what a human would do also by looking at it, looking at the data if they know what to look at. But it's going to do it in an autonomous way.
So I got to say, Kevin, this is a pretty sexy UI design.
It's just a prototype. Thanks to Claude. This is an AI generated design. Thanks to Claude.
No, no. The thing I think most people need to recognize is, a lot of these sexes and dexes that are out there, they overcomplicate a lot of the investment process of giving you way too many tools that you really don't need. And the concept behind the LNO is basically just simplicity, right? It should be for the easy investor to get in and get going on making and investing their money more so than just going to a pool and staking. The one thing that I absolutely love about this new product that's being rolled out is the more people that you have on this, the better, right? And with other kind of bots and trading platforms that are out there that are touting that they can make lots of money, that's great, but they're all kind of using the same overarching trading strategy, that kind of thing. And so, they're constantly going to have to update their rules, their kind of strategy, because now they've got thousands of people doing it. But now with this, when you have thousands of people using it, it's being shared across the board of the learnings. And that's the big thing, is the learning portion of it. Because then it doesn't matter if there are thousands of people in there using it. It's all like one big, huge brain that's coming from this. So you're benefiting from having more and more people using this, where on the flip
Yep.
side, it's actually getting stale, it's getting stagnant, and you're losing money. So that's why you see, if you've ever participated in those bots, you'll get in, you're like, oh, this is amazing. And then after a while, it's like, wait a minute, I'm starting to see my profit decline as a result of using them. And so that's one of the main things. But the thing I do like about this is the simplicity, so that it could literally fit right into a wallet. It doesn't necessarily need its own platform, its own infrastructure, or anything like that. We wanted to make it as simple as possible. So had to call it out. Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. 100%. I think, Mike, you wanted to say something?
No, I was going to add in there that the ability for it to continually learn, I think, is key. As Cody was saying before, having something that is fairly stagnant means that, as Cody said, the more that join, the worse the performance becomes. But when you've got something that's continuously learning as it moves forward with more people joining, you're starting to build up that the AI knowledge of trading and the patterns, etc., which is really good.
Yeah, 100%. Because what happens also is the fact that, you know, you can snipe tokens from DEX. Damn, I'm talking like a actual DeFi, you know. Uh, you can look and analyze tokens from
Welcome to the
DEX
dark
screen.
side.
Sniping, yeah.
And and this is not a sniping bot, or it's not double up your money using AI. It's just very clearly saying that there is an impermanent loss problem in passive liquidity provision. And if we use a reinforcement learning, which is an AI that understands that a reinforcement model can predict volatility in a specific pool and protect your capital inside that pool, then there should be a way to train this model. And these swarms of AI agents, you could give it $100 or a $50 or $10, and exclude Ethereum from there. For example, okay, only trade on these networks where the gas fee is cheaper. You could just run, maybe 10,000 of them, and they will learn from each other. And the learning pace again um, is also, it only depends on the reinforcement learning algorithm. That is what we have patented. So that is what is protected. Imagine a technology like this, being offered by someone like MetaMask or Rabby as a feature. Like you've got money in there, allocate 1% or 2% of it, see if it works or not for you, and push it. The returns out of there, I think that is what we are focusing on, rather than us actually just selling this product ourselves. I think it's more about putting this as an SDK on other products and selling it as a patent. Okay, moving on, the deterministic action interlock. So one of the biggest thing with the AI agents, regardless of if it is built for context or if it's built for a specific use case, is the hallucination problem, because it tries to oversmart itself and tries to give you answers so that you're not upset with it, but it's not true, it doesn't exist. And we know that any AI algorithm will always have this problem. It's a fundamental flaw built inside it. But what we have done is we have also patented the DI, which is the deterministic action interlock, that acts as a handbrake. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going to the bar and you're having a few drinks. Let's just continue with the same example, right? Um, at any point in time, let's say it's your birthday, I want to drink more, but at any point in time, you should not go over 0.05% alcohol in your body, or whatever that number is, right? So it kind of says, okay, not now, wait for an hour, we'll do it after that. So it kind of puts restriction around the AI mind, because you don't want to put guardrails itself on the AI mind, because the moment you do that, you're restricting its learning capability, right? It's very similar to human beings. So over here, the DI network, or the DI protocol, is going to help sit on top of the AI agent, and following versions of the product will actually even let you tweak certain things. Like you can go and say, we are also going towards the route where the social media sentiment analysis can be inserted into this. If the social media sentiment is turning negative, regardless of the metrics that you get out of the pool, do not enter into this pool. So that there could be certain hard-coded facts that you yourself think you want to actually not want your AI agent to do, right? That is where a manual override feature is allowed in certain cases. That is where this technology comes into play. Okay, that was from the patent side of things. Moving on, we have partnered up with WarpChain as the technology provider for the peer-to-peer gaming infrastructure. And Warp, of course, will act as a publisher, but they've got some heaps of connections into the gaming industry that are looking to build on certain layer ones, and they're bound by the certain layer ones because of the grant. This is one of the biggest problem as well. It's crazy. And regardless of how good your infrastructure is, but if the grant is linked to a layer one, you just can't build on any other layer one. And I think 90% of good projects are already bound by some layer ones out there. But anyhow, because that is the case, there is no way that they can bind them on an abstraction technology, which is, I'm going to use the P2P gaming infrastructure, but I'll settle on Arbitrum. That's fine, right? So regardless of your agreements with layer ones in terms of the grants that you are going to get, this allows you to still use the L1X technology, and actually, it's better if you do, to offer that kind of gaming advantages. Yeah, as I mentioned, we already partnered up with Wopchain. We are working with Cajun as well. Cajun is in a very different space. They're into Quest user verification type market. We are focusing more on the gameplay, but we're working with Cajun where they're going to be introducing us to gaming studios. They're going to be introducing us to partners that would be interested in using this technology. But again, as I said, our goal is not to flip-flop this technology one partner after the other. Our goal is to sell this patent and use proceeds out of that into the release pool, right? We are doing this so that we demonstrate we get revenues out of it, that the tech works, it gets validation, and later on selling this for both the patents, or all three, as a matter of fact. Okay. Upcoming games. So we've got 2 games that are upcoming. The first one is Dice. I believe in the next couple of days, this game is going to be out. And the second game is, of course, Xdoc. That is inspired by the Xdoc token that is listed on Quantum Dex. Why Dice? Because we've seen that the games that people can play in less than a few seconds actually is the one that people are playing on a daily basis. To give you some perspective, 95% of the games that are played are either Crash, Plinko, or Mines. Right? Number 1 is Plinko, then comes Crash, then comes Mine. Dice is a similar game. It's a fast action game based on microtransactions, and this is going to be added to the portfolio in the microtransaction game. But Xtalk, of course, not only focusing on microtransactions, but also on actual fun when you play the games against the community, to be on top of the leaderboard and win prizes every day. That's why we are also working on Xtalk. Okay, I think Cody, this was you.
For sure. So, yeah, if you had your head on or a rock for the last month, I'm sorry, but you guys have definitely missed out. Mike and I have been hosting L1X game night on Discord, which has been absolutely fun and exciting. The first one was a great success. We had quite a few people participate. We just held our latest one this past Saturday, where we did invite a member of the Warp team, Matthew, over to join us as we kind of combined our typical X Talk space that we do on Twitter. We combined it with game night, had a great chat about games, got to know them a little bit more. We'll probably be doing a full AMA with them specifically in their team so that we can get to know them, our partners, a little bit more. But if you're not familiar with what game night is on L1X, basically come in and we do a competition. I think the first competition we did was the leaderboard, all or nothing kind of deal, for $500 USD, I believe, equivalent is to what we gave away. On the second one, we shook things up a little bit more. We actually broke it up into 6 different pools. So every 30 minutes, we were giving away roughly about 80 USD. And the very last 30 minutes of our 3-hour game night, we ended up giving away close to 200, I think, on that round. So all in all, it was basically the same payout, but far more participation in that one, which was awesome. I think the first one we only had like 3,000 games played. in that first night. The second night we had triple that. We had about I think it was just under 10,000 games, if I remember correctly, played within a 3-hour period, which is massive, which is cool. So it'll be interesting to see if we can triple that or at least double that for this next game night. So can I announce when that's going to be?
Yeah.
Yep, you read my mind. All right, so the next game night is definitely going to be on the 19th. I believe that is next Thursday. So put that on your calendars. It's going to be at 9 p.m. AWST, or what is it, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for those guys on this side of the hemisphere. It will be in our Discord channel. I've already got Mr. Console from Biga coming in. He is definitely confirmed, and I've got a few other people that are on the lineup as well. Unfortunately, can't make it to the 19th one, but they will be coming to the next one that are OGs in the gaming space. So what a great opportunity for us to introduce new gaming communities, guilds, things like that to our new kind of format that we're testing out with the X Talk series. We will still be doing regular X Talk hosting things. We'll probably kick those back to every few weeks, just so that we don't overdo it on during the week. We can kind of spice things up maybe in the off weeks that we don't do these game nights. But we do encourage you guys to come and participate with us in the Discord. We've got a pretty lively chat going on. Plus, if you do come up on stage, you're able to participate in, we've kind of carved out, I think it's like 10% that you guys get to participate in and receive if you do come up and share your screen, the little Plinko thing that we've been doing. It's a great opportunity for you guys to jump in and share that pool if you do come up. So a little added bonus. So mark your calendars. 19th. Let's do it. One of the other things that I highly recommend as well is if you're new to the L1X play, this is a great opportunity for you to get some free spin. I've been kind of monitoring some of the winnings that some people have been getting, and all you have to do is just connect your wallet, and from there you get to spin free spin. I mean, I've seen people getting anywhere from a couple of bucks all the way up to like what was it, 5, 10 bucks the other day that I saw. So there's a lot of good opportunity there for you to pick up some L1XP tokens. Likewise, you can also go in and just buy those outright from any chain. It utilizes our L1X swap that we do have, the Quantum Dex swap. So you're connected to pretty much any chain. So any of the major chains, you can come in and swap in for those, and you can swap right back out as well, which is cool once you're done playing and or you've won. So next screen, perfect. Right now we're running a mystery box. This is kind of a fun one. So you deposit 15 bucks, you get some additional bonus L1XP tokens, and yeah, I would love to hear you guys' feedback. If you guys have some things that you would love to see in this mystery box, Kevin, hearing about the dice game that's coming out, it would be cool to have a mystery box that gives away a exclusive L1X 20-sider dice uh, as soon as we launch that. So that might be a fun one to kind of put out there. I don't know if we've got some D&D fans out there that know what the 20-sider is,
Yeah.
but that might be kind of a good, fun little promotion to kick that dice game off with. Just thinking off the cuff here, but I know I'd like to have one. Um, so yeah, that's it. If you guys have any feedback, greatly encourage you guys to drop it to me on Discord as well as on Twitter. My handle is Cryptonaut22. Love the feedback that we've been getting, been passing it on to Kevin and Lionel and the dev team about how we can enhance game night, how we can enhance the gameplay. There should be hopefully some good updates coming here on Plinko for the next game night we've got coming up on the 19th. So we will see you guys there.
Yeah. For sure, Cody. I think, rather than the dice, I'd like to have your hat. I need one. You've been promising me for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I know. I know. It just
It's
cost me
sweaty now,
like
mate. I don't want
$200 to
it.
send you a $40 hat to,
I'm
to
gonna.
Australia.
Yeah.
So I might have to, next time I'm out there, I'll bring you out a whole slew. How about that?
Done.
Yeah.
Okay. No, thanks for that, Corey. Okay. Just looking at the roadmap, we've got rid of the dates. We'll work on the pointers straight away. So in January, we filed the patent for the deterministic action interlock. We also did some swap upgrades. There were some core upgrades as well. We launched the L1X Minds game on L1X Play, of course. We established partnership with Cajun to bring in the users into L1X app. And we also hosted a game night. I think it was pretty, good start to the year, laying down the foundations. In February, we filed for the L1X Play patent. We also filed for the NLO patent. And of course, there'll be a series of other patents that we'll be filing along with this. Um, we are working on, as I already showed you certain screenshots, we are working on, the version 1 of the NLO. I demonstrated it to Cody and Mike today. They're pretty curious to have a look. But it's in the very early stages right now. Of course, it's making profit, but it's too early to decide anything on that. Anyhow, we do have something to demonstrate probably in the next webinar. Going through it, line by line in terms of how this thing works, and also demonstrating it to you with actual funds. We'll start it over. We'll actually let the agent run its course and see what happens, right? Live with all the transaction hashes visible to you. The other one is the WAP partnership. So we did establish that as well this month, and the dice game is coming out in the next couple of days. But this month, we are working extremely hard to make sure that the L1X Play Patent SDK and the version 2 of the NLO is available to you to use for certain users, at the end of next month. So probably at the 4th week of next month. That's being a bit optimistic in terms of the NLO being usable by users because it's going to be in early stages again. But we will open up access to certain users to use this based on the feedback that we get in the next 6 to 8 weeks before we open it up to people again. Why I'm stressing out on this is because previously we were pushing on the fact that, okay, let's get certain projects to build with us, or depending too much on certain projects for the development of the protocol and the release pool. But now we have taken the perspective or the view that we focus on what we are really good at, which is the technology side of things, building really good tech, and leave the commercialization side to other layer ones, where we offer them this tech to be integrated into their infrastructure, and indirectly get the transaction, the user, and the liquidity onto the protocol, at least for some time, until the patent sells for the price that we want it to sell, and feed the release pool from there. So this whole month and the month of Feb, it's been 5 weeks since the start of the year, 5 to 6 weeks. We've been focusing on these two things, the Play patent and the NLO, and we made some good progress there. When you take 45 days and try to see how much has been done in there. But again, the next 45 days is about rolling out, 45 to 60 days is about rolling out the version 1 to the users, to the companies that want to actually try this thing out. And these are very thought about, build from scratch for a specific purpose kind of products. It's not a knockoff of some tech, like how you got AI companies out there. Let's predict the price, put it into ChatGPT, whatever it gives you, it spits it out in a financial language. It's nothing like that. These are, well-built techs for a specific purpose. So it does take time for that. But the objective is very clear. Commercialization, we leave it to other L1s to do that until we find a buyer for these two patents and feed that money back into the release pool and the protocol. Okay, I think, Mike, that's you. think Mike has frozen.
I think Mike put up his portfolio chart instead.
Can you hear me now?
It's
You got me?
it's not the best. It's not clear.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm seeing you guys perfectly clear. Maybe I'll turn off my video for a minute, maybe give a better signal.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I'm on
Yeah.
the mobile. So. Okay. All right. So a little bit of an update on Bitcoin, and then I'll go through a couple of other points as well. One of them has actually come from a discussion I had with one of our investors. So Bitcoin's over the last 30 days traded one hell of a lot lower. You can see that on the chart at the right-hand column. It's almost like, I guess they call it a dead cat bounce. And it's dropped way below that. The red line above is the 200-day moving average, and it's gone way below that. What probably isn't visible on the screen is the 20 and 50-day moving averages, which had a big crossover back up there, further up the screen. I can't really point to it, but anyway, you'll see. And that's where it dropped right down below, giving a signal of a massive bearish market. Now, so what that's meant is that we've seen some pretty significant liquidations with billions wiped out as all those leverage positions unwind. And anybody shorting Bitcoin, they've done extremely well. There's some volatility spikes included in there. And I think it had one of the largest percent daily drops in recent years, briefly touching about 60,000 US and then bouncing back up again, as you can see on the very bottom there. The recent price pressure has been linked to a weakened, quite weakened tech sell-offs and all sorts of turns going on the crypto markets overall. Now, what's next for Bitcoin? Well, there's all sorts of analysts out there, and they're going all over the place. So they're going from some saying that it's going to drop a hell of a lot lower. Others saying it's going to bounce back up to 85, 95, 100,000. I think it's in a point at the moment where the bears are in control. That's probably the best way to describe it. It's driving it down. So are we going to see a bounce? We will. Is it going to be immediate? I don't know the answer to that question, and I guess that's where we all really just keep an eye on it and watch. I think the longer range targets, they still remain bullish when I look at it. It's not the end, but it's just the way, reflecting the state of the market out there and the state of the world at the moment. It's very much in a consolidation correction phase with very high volatility, and the momentum is mixed. If you look at the technical analysis side of it, which I do, it's offering both support and resistance scenarios. Now, what can we do with that? You've just got to let the market do what it does. That's all you can do. Now, interesting, I did have a question as to why do I talk about Bitcoin and what's the relevance to L1X? Is there a link? Well, yeah, there is. There's always links between any tradable item. It's pretty simple. L1X price movements often show some correlation with the broader crypto market. You're seeing that if you actually move down, Kevin, to the next chart, just on, I won't talk about L1X yet, but you can actually see a similar pattern. So we've had that broad market uptake across the top, and it's dropped right off. Now, our patterns, obviously, they're very different to Bitcoin, but we're following in the general market. We're no different really to any other tradable item out there in crypto. There is going to be things that influence it, but what affects L1X's performance? It can be influenced by Bitcoin's trend, yes, and I think we've seen some of that. But specific project catalysts and community factors come into play. So things such as the L1X play, the AI patents, the things that Kevin's been working on, we all expect those to have a pretty huge impact on L1X. So really, yes, whilst we are influenced by the broader market, probably the biggest influences are actually going to be those items that enhance L1X and enhance the value of the coin around things like L1X play and the patents, as I said before. So where to from here? So coming back to it, Bitcoin does remain bearish. The shorts have been extremely profitable and entrenched. The money that's been mostly outflows, and any inflows are too weak for any form of reversal at the moment. And I'm going back to my original quote, modifying it slightly. Until Bitcoin breaks and sustains above 100,000 or even 90,000 at the moment, the market will continue to be in bear control with the shorts. Those that have shorted the market, they're still laughing all the way to the bank. No real change from last commentary, just the numbers. We'd all like to see a turnaround. It's just not there yet. That's it. Thanks.
I'll just
All
stop my
right.
screen share. Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've had some great updates. I don't know about you guys, but I am extremely bullish. I just threw out out on Twitter some good comments on the broadcast feed out there, but too bad the NLO wasn't all ready to go. I think the Bitcoin holders would have appreciated having that because we could have saved them a lot of heartache and headache and banging their head against the wall, that's for sure. But no, in all seriousness, a lot of people have asked me why I have and use the name Cryptonaut. It's because anybody that knows me loves and knows that I love going to Mars on a whole bunch of different concepts. And some of the implementations that we can do with this new L1O product that Kevin's been talking about is just freaking endless. I mean, the use cases, the utility, the liquidity it can bring to projects and to games and to various things is just phenomenal. So if you guys are not bullish about L1X, I don't know what else is going to get you guys bullish. I mean, we brought you in X Talk for interoperability. We've brought you NLO. We brought you peer-to-peer gameplay. I mean, uh, the tech stack just keeps lighting up, and I love what one person said about us just being one of those silent builders. Yes, we are definitely one of those silent builders, and for a reason. Uh, we're not all flash and show. We're here to build, and that's why we're still building after, oh gosh, how long has it been? Uh,
4
in
years.
Oh, that's like 400 years in crypto years, right? So I feel like an old man now, but yeah, I mean, we're here, we're still building, we're still innovating, we're moving the needle, and I think it's a good, as we would say, it's a good project to hitch your wagon to, folks. That's a saying we usually say here in the West. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate tuning in today. We appreciate Kevin. He always puts together some good insights on what's happening. Lionel, my friend, you've been a mouse in the room. Anything you want to add to the conversation today?
Oh yeah, so it's been a busy month, I'd say, like last few weeks. Discussing with Kevin, on everything that we discussed. So, like first thing on the product, I would say, like, I know there exists products in the market, but it's not that widespread. Like, it doesn't have the data, and especially, for beginners, it is like, you have access to a lot, like a massive amount of data. And when I say data, it's pools. The agents are always learning, and any mistakes or stuff, it's not affected to all, right? So I would say it is very much easy for beginners like to come in and like to, not just make a loss, but, at least be balanced somewhere with their portfolio. And compared to other products in the market, I think this is more than predicting, the price of the coin. It's more on what is happening in the present, like in a particular pool, or like, if there exists, two similar pools, on different platforms. What you do is, which is more volatile, you just take out your assets from them, then move it to a different pool. So it's these kind of things. So I'm pretty much excited on these, side of things. And, with the AI boom and blockchain, I think that's the best combination.
Yeah. 100%. And again, just to for my last few words for today's AMA, I think we're trying to set the tone after a lot of learnings, or after a lot of experience that we've had building an infrastructure like this, which is not easy on any feet. Each and every component, each and every angle, objective, goal, it comes with extreme, learning curve. And I've seen teams, or communities where, you need one thing to go wrong and they all disperse out. I mean, you know, if it was going to be that easy, everyone would be a millionaire and a billionaire in this world. So, but at the same time, there are certain community members who stick on regardless of, the phase of the product. And more importantly, L1X is building for these community members, right? And there are certain community members who reach out to me, who who actually appreciate the work going in. And I think these are the kind of people that, they say crypto is a community. I don't believe that until I see these kind of people. And I've seen these kind of people in L1X that make you believe that, blockchain and crypto can make a community, or the others I try to call community members in disguise being opportunists, basically. Because doing anything like this for 4 5 years, it's a little bit more than madness, when you have to go through the same thing again and again in terms of doing something. So definitely, I think we've set the tone for this specific year in terms of what we want to do, what we want to build, how we are going to sell this tech that we have patented and we are building, and we might sell it for more than we even think about. The kind of potential that this technology is bringing with immediate use cases to their customers who can buy this tech and roll it out to their people. So yeah, I'm very excited for this specific year, and I am definitely looking forward to demonstrating both. One which you already use L1X Play and see, but more importantly, also the NLO in action, where community members, certain group of actual believers can start using it. Um, you know, um, to see how this thing even works. But yeah, it's been a good start to the year, um, and we expect to keep pushing the way we always do, um, cutting out the noise that doesn't even exist for me. Yeah.
Well done,
Mike. Anything you want to add?
No, I just think one of the things to remember is that whilst there's a lot of other projects out there that have just fallen by the wayside, the one key takeaway is that, Kevin, is that you've never given up, mate. You've always pushed and pushed and pushed, and that's one hell of a drive, and it's to be certainly to be respected.
I don't know anything else, man. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know any other
I
way.
know that about you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the ability to learn and grow from it, and move on to if something's not working, then change what you're doing. Because if you keep repeating the same things and not getting the result, then that's just madness. So change, and then we grow and learn and move forward.
I agree, and rather than and again, there are sometimes when you blabber things that you can't even stand by, versus you're actually executing things in such an environment where you got to perform every day. I think it's just so good to be there with certain community members that understand what we are trying to do, and because what we tried, okay, it worked a percentage, it didn't work, we learn from it, we move on. And that's the one of the reasons why a project like us is still standing tall today, right? Despite all the experiences that we've had, and we've still got a long way to go. And this team that we've got here, I think that's all we need, and the patience and the work that we are doing.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I do have to share. One thing is, with me being able to participate in a lot of different spaces and rep L1X on a variety of spaces, from gaming to DeFi to RWA kind of thing. It's interesting to see these things that Kevin and Mike are talking about, these roadblocks that they're hitting, the technology that they're hitting, and it's fun because I get on a call with them to talk about their project and see what kind of synergy we can have with L1X, and they tell me about their tech problem, or they tell me about this or that, and I'm like, dude, I got to get you in with Kevin, because I know he does his thing. He does his little, hey, leave it with me, I'll have it done in 30 days. And that's something that you can take to the bank, because Kevin always comes back. He always delivers when it comes to that kind of technical background, and it even blows my mind. You know, I think about going to Mars. Kevin actually goes and takes us to Mars on a lot of different things, and that innovation is what's definitely keeping us afloat. Because just keep your ears open. You'll hear some of these people that are falling to the wayside because they are not leveraging the tech that's out there, and we're definitely bringing it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
So my
100%.
hats my hats to you and Lionel and the rest of the dev team, because you guys are slaving it. You guys are grinding it. Mike and I get the fun part where we get to just go out and be the little
We're still the team, right?
Yep, we're still the team. We're the ones on the front
And
line promoting it.
you guys are putting in the work. It's a
Yep,
different kind of work. That's all.
yep,
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And,
our
and it's
community's
pain and
out there
suffering
as
for.
well. Sounds like we got to get Mike
Yeah.
a better internet
All right.
connection. So,
Yeah. All
but
good,
yeah,
guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
sounds good. Hey, we're over, but just wanted to say one more thank you to our community. Again,
Yeah.
make sure that you guys invite to the game night. Not only is it fun, but it's a great opportunity to show off the tech that the dev team's been working on over the last few months. So let's rally. If you guys know any gaming communities, invite them. Feel free to throw me into a message with them. I'm happy to invite their community leaders over as well. So again, with that, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Kevin, Lionel, Mike, everybody else on the team. Have a great one. We'll catch you on the next AMA.